Welcome back. Now, our next guest brought a whole new generation to country music. It's almost 15 years ago now, I think, when Wagon Wheel went viral before we had virality. It was everywhere.
Before we had what?
Virality.
Virality. To explain what that is, Nathan Carter joins us now. Good morning, Nathan. How are you?
Some lady said the other day, I'm taking antibiotics because I've gone viral. I thought that's what you were going with.
There you go. That's where she's going with that one. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Delighted to see you.
I'm good to see you. It's always lovely to
have
see
you
you.
here.
And we're going to start because I was just looking at your Instagram. There's a lovely picture of you and Moya from Clannad. Moya Brennan from Clannad, and passed away.
Wonderful music.
And then Dolores as well. You were very good. You knew both of them, obviously, through the
Well,
scene.
Moya, I did a TV show on RTE years ago. Moya was one of the guests on the show, along with Finbar Fury, Sharon Shannon, Mary Black, and she was just wonderful talent.
What a lineup.
Yeah, that
night is an incredible lineup. And there's something about Moya, you know, about everything to do with Clannad and Guidor. It's haunting.
It is, yeah. And it clearly went worldwide as well. It wasn't just parochial, like it was all over the place. So
and then Dolores Keane, you knew well.
Yeah, Dolores. And funny enough, I recorded Caledonia, the song, about 15 years ago on the Wagon Wheel album. And I've sang it every night on stage. But recently we dedicated to Dolores, you know, the late great.
Her version is
it's timeless. Absolutely timeless.
Yeah,
it's I never thought I would ever peak it either. I just did it my own way.
Yeah.
And it kind of introduced it to a younger generation then who might have not known of
course.
Dolores, but they're now looking up Dolores' version, and you know hers is back in the charts and stuff. So it's great to see.
Yeah,
really good.
It really is.
And doing that because I suppose that's, you know, country star. You always interpret other people's music and everyone's doing everyone else's songs. Like, you know, if you and Daniel are together, and that's kind of nice. It's kind of a share and share alike sort of a thing that goes on, isn't it?
And sure, the country whole catalogue for years has been repeated, you know, through the generations. You know, even was it Beyonce did Jolene there on her country album, and you know, it's just a thing that's done. I don't know if it's done as much in pop as it is in country. Like Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings all used to sing the same songs and record them, you know, and release them at the same time, the same song.
And it and
it was just the way it was done. It was considered normal.
But you've got new music coming out.
Brand new album.
So when's the last time you did that then?
I've never done it.
You've never done brand new music?
Full album of original songs.
Yeah.
I've co-written songs with different writers for the last 15 years. I would stick on 4 or 5 of the tracks, and then the rest would be covers.
Yeah.
But this one is fully original.
And why did you decide to do that now?
I just wanted a bit of a change. It had been 16 years since I started out in Ireland professionally. And I'd done the same thing for a long time. So I just thought, you know what, 35 now, I'm going to shake it up a bit and see how we get on. So I started writing with Guy Chambers.
Robbie Williams.
Robbie's stuff. And then I wrote recently with John and Ben, who were actually last week in Dublin. And John has written Michael Jackson songs.
Wow.
He wrote...
How do you get in touch with these people? Do you just reach out to them?
Through my publisher.
Okay.
And John was over from America, and he wrote On Top of the World for the Carpenters, and One Moment in Time for...
Really?
I didn't know going into the writing session who I was meeting.
Yeah, wow.
And then I sat down, and then he was telling me his name, and then I started
Googling.
And I was like, oh my God, this man has sold 250 million records. There's me with my piano and accordion going, what do you want to write today? Yeah.
What are we going to do today?
Yeah, so, but you know what, I couldn't have met a nicer guy. And we wrote 3 songs last week, so I'm hoping if I can get them into production, 2 or 3 of them might be on the album.
Might be on the album.
So I'm hoping to get the album off the end of summer. That's the plan now.
What's the name?
I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not there yet.
No.
Do you? So with the singles that you've written with Guy Chambers, because let's be honest, we've all sung Guy Chambers songs our entire lives.
On karaoke.
Angels now, we've all tried it.
Yeah.
Kind of doing something like that, like he's such a prolific songwriter that people know the name of. Do you know, we know who he is. What was that like?
It was really daunting at first, but after like 2 or 3 days, we kind of settled down.
Yeah.
And Guy's favourite singer is Glenn Campbell. My favourite singer is Glenn Campbell, so we ended up just bonding over the love of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then going into like...
Do you have a song called Enniskillen and Lineman or something? Is that what's going to be? Is that what's going to happen?
The Fermanagh Lineman.
Fermanagh Lineman.
But then going into like doing BBC London and radio interviews in the UK, the minutes they seen writing with Guy Chambers, it was like, right, yeah, get him on. So it was like a real handy thing for me, you know, to get into TV and radio over there as well, which it's been a big help.
And how is that going in comparison to here?
The UK shows?
Because here Nathan rings us up and goes, Harry, I'm coming on tomorrow. I don't care who's there. Bump
somebody off.
We're on. I'm on. I'm in Dublin. I'm coming. So what's that like over there?
It's been a constant thing for over the last sort of 6 or 7 years that I've been touring the UK.
Yeah.
And it's got easier as you get to know the people in the industry, you know. Yeah. But we did the Palladium again recently, and
like
the end of the
huge.
year. Yeah, it's great.
You're going to do Carnegie Hall, so in London the Palladium is huge. Carnegie Hall is iconic for any singer.
There's Madison Square Garden and Carnegie Hall, which are the two. No, I definitely couldn't fill Madison Square Garden, so at Carnegie Hall it is.
There's a lot of artists who couldn't fill Madison Square Garden.
Harry Styles has it booked out for a year.
He's 20 dates, is he?
20-something dates, yeah. He's just there. He's not moving.
I'm going to see him and Shania in London, actually, in a couple of months' time.
Are they doing a gig together?
They're doing 20 gigs in London, I think.
I got my tickets for Celine Dion in Paris. I'm grand.
You're going to Celine? Brilliant. Yeah, that'll be amazing.
What are you looking at me like that? Anyway, your tour.
Did you not get invited either?
That's how you told me. You didn't, sorry, back to you, Nathan.
You didn't get the invite either.
How is it? Is Jake your tour manager now? Your brother Jake?
Jake is on tour with us all the time.
He's on tour all the time.
Yeah, he's tour manager.
So he books all the flights, he sorts accommodation, tour buses, makes sure the lads are there for sound check, and is backstage sorting. Jeez, that's a very young picture of us there.
Look at the two of you.
That's not last week. That is definitely not last week.
How's that going?
Do you know what? It's been brilliant.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know how it was going to go because me and Jake have never worked together, ever. So, and he was like, the position came up and I was like, let's try it.
Would you do it?
On. So, but he's so, not strict, but he's like on the ball with everything.
Yeah, he's got an A-type personality, I suppose, doesn't he? Where he likes everything organised.
All the time. So,
and you are gigging a lot. Like this tour.
Not as many gigs as we used to. Like we're finished in Ireland the first week of May, so we've another 7 gigs through Killarney this weekend.
Yeah.
Cork, Limerick next weekend.
Yeah.
And
then we finish up Galway, Leisureland, and 2 nights in Dublin.
In the Olympia.
The Olympia Theatre.
The first night sold out.
Yeah.
So you can get the second night.
So and then I finish for like a month or something. That's great.
Yeah, so you do get to take a break.
Chill.
Like Tommy was saying, he saw the big bus, the Nathan Carter strewn
It
bus,
was outside
the
his
van.
house. Yeah.
It was parked outside his house. He's having a private gig. Having a private
I was in
gig.
the tent in the back.
the marquee he always has up. But like when you were, I've seen you I was at one of your gigs once in Limerick, and oh my God, do you get noticed? Like you were just walking around and people were like, oh my God, there's Nathan Carter. With that sort of level of public notice, you met some nice women in Inverness, didn't you?
I did, and then funny enough, I was in Edgeworthstown last weekend. Oh no, Drumlish.
Yeah.
Because there was the blockades were in Cavan, so I had to go another way. So I ended up in Drumlish, randomly enough, and I was in a Centra getting food, and then I went to the counter and some lady was like staring away, and I was like, "Hello," and she was like, "You look very like Nathan Carter. You must get that all the time." And I was like, I do, yeah.
She literally.
And then she just was quiet for a while, and she went, "Yeah, you wish you were him, don't you?" All I could do was say, "Yeah, I do." Yeah.
Did you literally just say, "Yeah"? What can you say?
Do you not say it is? You're just like, no, leave them think that I'm just some guy who's got plastic surgery to look like.
Send me skim milk, please.
Oh my God, that is so funny. But I mean, you're saying you're taking the time off, and you've a couple of gigs, and then you have the time off, and you do take the time off. Because you've spent so long now in this house that you've been building. People who are following you on Instagram and stuff have seen you.
Yeah.
The struggles.
Oh,
but it's done.
Delighted.
You're done, and you're in. It was a big
of groundwork to
undertaking.
do, which I actually will hopefully get stuck into when I'm off as well. Now, I can't do any of the...
I was just about to say, sorry, Nathan Carter is going to be doing his own groundwork.
But you're in, the house is done, so now it's time to chill.
Delighted
with it.
Yeah.
Tune in every morning to use, you know.
That's it.
That's exactly what he's doing. So Nathan is around the country. You're going to be in the INEC in Killarney on the 17th of April. You've got 7 dates left. You're wrapping up in the Olympia on the 2nd and 3rd of May before he takes a little bit of a holiday, and you can ask him You look like Nathan Carter. Do you wish you were him? It's lovely.
No, you didn't get invited to Celine, but I can invite you to our gig if you want.
Thank you very much.
We'll be at the Olympia singing Wagon Wheel. There you go.
Merci beaucoup. Nathan Carter, thank you so much. Thanks.